Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, it's Wednesday, which of course means we're going to take a look at your hot takes from the world of professional wrestling. And I don't know if we have any from, like, not the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah, there's one down here, yeah.
All right, awesome possum. Let's go ahead and get started. What's our first hot take as I load up our hot takes form?
First one here from C Machine 25. So Cena winning the Intercontinental title does nothing for all involved.
Ah, man, oh man.
Well, I think here's the thing. First, if everybody involved in Cena winning the Intercontinental title involves people there live in attendance, they seem pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I was going to say something that echoed that sentiment, to be honest with you. There are certain times when booking something like this just to, like, pop a rating or pop a crowd really quick, it's like, what does this really accomplish? This is special because it is Cena's last small handful of dates. Last time he's in Boston, the crowd was super up for this. And, in the grand scheme of things, they did something, we criticized WWE for, not taking enough risks and treating their title scenes way too protected. This is fine. This is fine. The people in attendance were super happy to see this. I know there's been all sorts of rumors and reports about this. I was genuinely surprised that this happened. I thought they were going to wonk the finish and go in a different direction. But I liked it. They were able to put the graphic up. Hey, he's never won this before, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter to his career because he's had such a great career. But, in the moment for the crowd, I think it's great. I think, we had talked about this on the Raw review this week. You had said, the IC title for Gunther, let's assume it's Gunther. And Cena loses this to Gunther as sort of like, oh, Gunther, he's Mr. Intercontinental Champion, reclaiming, what he made, basically, what he put back on the map. I could see how they can tell that story and it can make that title mean a damn. I could also see them not and making the title seem very secondary to the overall arc. So it depends on how they approach it. If somehow, some way, Obafemi comes out of this tournament and beats John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship, he's made. He's a made man. Yeah. He is good on main roster. That is what we've been asking for. So I disagree, but there's the possibility that by the time all is said and done, maybe it will have done nothing for anybody, the way they approach it.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up Obafemi because I think that's the end game of all this is largely dependent on who beats Cena in his final match, and if the Intercontinental title is on the line, who wins that as well as being the man who retired John Cena. Now, obviously, the Intercontinental title can be viewed as a step down for Gunther. Well, then the onus is on WWE to make that title the 1B to the World Heavyweight Championships, 1A. Mm-hmm. But if it's Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, if they're the ones who are going to be facing off, or one of them is going to be the one facing off against Cena and wins, retires Cena, wins the Intercontinental title, that is a massive deal.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's how you make a splash with NXT call-up.
It is. Look at Kevin Owens and John Cena with the United States Championship.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm not usually a let's see this play out type person, but let's see how this plays out. And in the end, if Gunther beats Cena for the Intercontinental title and it's kind of same old in terms of booking that championship as well as Gunther, all right, maybe at the end of the day you get a cool moment with Cena winning the title and not much else. Well, that's kind of a microcosm of Cena's heel run anyways, or final run in a lot of respects.
Yeah, I mean, if on Madison Square Garden, if Dom shows up and gets it back from him somehow through Grande Americano, Judgment Day, or whatever interference, Brock interference, and that brings Cena back into the War Games thing, I don't know. If it's something along those lines, then it's like, Okay, so you just did this for the Boston crowd and you just did it for Cena's record. Still, even then, yeah, the moment, I don't think there's much harm. No, I don't think there's harm nor foul there.
No.
So I think that, if he ends up going into his last match against, let's say, Gunther, and he ends up winning, which I don't think Cena would do. I think Cena's going to say, no, I'm not going to beat whoever my last match is against. And he ends up winning there, and he vacates it, and it goes to a tournament. Then I guess we'll see how they treat the tournament, and if they make a big deal about that. I don't know. I feel like I feel like the positives are already going to outweigh whatever negatives. I mean, they'd have to really bungle it for it really to be, oh, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah, agreed there. Jesse Helsius here says John Cena should win his final match. I guess it depends who would be against in a lot of respects.
Dude. I mean, you and I had speculated that Brock would be his last match. Like, this is way obviously back when Brock beat him. And if it was Brock, then it'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I could
Cena
see
has to
that.
win at that point. Yeah.
That makes all this. It makes a lot of sense, and I think that's not a terrible idea. But given that the whole thing is, I want to elevate, I want to give back. I refuse to believe that Cena, unless Triple H is like, hey, we need this fairy tale ending. That's what we've deemed best for business. Work with us on that.
Yeah.
Then I could see Cena, if Cena could come around to the idea that him winning was giving back to the business, then I guess so. But I'd just be really surprised. I don't. Again, it goes back to what we just said. It depends on who.
It does.
If it's against Obafemi, not a chance.
No.
I think
it's Oba or Gunther. Pretty much anybody from NXT, Gunther, and you can maybe point out a couple other names. Mm-hmm. Hell, if Dom was in this tournament and won it and beat him to get his title back and see his last match.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, Dom, and look, I am a much bigger fan. I love the Dom character. I do. But going around saying, hey, I retired John Cena, I don't know that has much to it. Like Austin Theory, so I beat John Cena at WrestleMania. It did, like, that alone did nothing for him. Dom's got so much about his character that's going to do it for him, but just that one thing, I don't know.
What if beating John Cena to retire him puts the thought in his head, though, next I'm going to retire my dad?
Yeah, well, yeah, you got that story.
If it's the jumping off point for that story.
Yeah. If they really nail that story, then yeah, I think that's some good material to work with. Sure, you're right. Just the idea alone in a vacuum really hasn't done much for anybody else. Oh, I beat John Cena, because he's lost so many times.
Yeah.
But I get it. It was a retirement match. You're in DC, you're doing the thing or whatever. But should he win the final match? It depends on who it is.
Yeah. 1,000%. Word Life fan has a hot take. Says Javon should.
John Cena.
Yeah, no. John Cena's pushing for this outcome. Javon Evans should 100% beat Gunther. Gunther does not need this tournament.
They're going to get us to the point where we're going to think Javon might win this. That's how good this match is going to be. So good. I don't think he has a chance. They're going to get us to think that. That's how good this match. I'm really looking forward to this match.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, dude, Gunther has done like everything. It does. It clearly does more for Javon than Gunther.
Yeah.
But if Gunther goes on and retires Cena, we just saw Gunther retire Goldberg. Like, do we need it for Cena too?
No, we don't need it, but I would not be shocked if the situation were like, well, this is Gunther's thing. Well,
Triple H loves Gunther. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I don't know if it's going to be a thing where or anytime in the next few years there's somebody who's on the verge of retirement, all right, Gunther, you're going to be the one to retire him. That's going to be his thing. I wonder if it'd be a situation, though, if Gunther doesn't win this, whoever beats Gunther does win it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So at the least, if they really want to do a feud with Gunther involving the Intercontinental title, whoever wins this tournament, you know, Gunther could be like, hey, I had you beat. I should have beaten you. You have something that I prize. Let's feud for that Intercontinental title or something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it'd be absolutely terrific. Do you think Cena would think that Gunther that you're giving back by having Gunther win? He already is so accomplished. And that's the thing for me, is like, he's so accomplished. What does he really stand? The only thing Gunther really needs at this point is the Cody title. Is to be the main event, the presumptive Night 2 Mania main event guy.
Maybe Cena just really wants to wrestle Gunther.
It's the best match he could have. It is the best match. I mean, that's the one thing about Obafemi, is that I don't know if Cena and Obafemi would absolutely kill it. Gunther and Cena would kill it.
Mm-hmm.
They would kill it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And if that's the point, is like, let's make the people feel, then it is Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
It is Gunther.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Triple H loves Gunther, and yeah, maybe that's gonna be his thing.
Could be.
It could be.
Hello, empty bus seat with a hot take says Logan Paul showed last night that Braun Breaker isn't going to be that top guy they want him to be. Braun looked well cast as a henchman. The dynamics within the Division now are a little funky.
Yeah.
Because we don't know, like I would assume, this thing with Logan and the Division now is simply a marriage of convenience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I guess to a certain extent, beyond kayfabe, necessity, given Seth's injury. They need somebody who they view having some star power in this War Games match on the heel side of things. So there's this thing. Logan's going to be aligned with the Division. Is he a full-fledged member? I don't know. He was kind of front and center last night.
Yeah, that's the thing. The placement, the interaction.
He was flanked by Braun and Bronson.
Yeah. It did sort of point to Braun and Bronson as like, oh, they're just the other guys.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Not a fan. Not a fan of that.
Yeah, it definitely seems a step back for Braun and Bronson if they're Logan Paul's henchmen.
Like, they need a central figure. I thought the entire point was Braun is now the central figure. He's the guy that made the decision, and then he intimidated Paul Heyman, and he led and said, Bronson, you with me on this? And Bronson said, yeah, I'm with you on this. And now you've got them at the side, or flanked anyways, flanking Logan Paul. Like, yeah, that's not a good look. And I get like, they're the team. So where it's symmetrically, where do you put them? On either side of the solo guy, I guess. Yeah, there needed to be some more some more interaction between them, where Braun firmly says, you're with us, we're not with you.
Yes.
There's a difference there.
Yes, 1,000%.
And we didn't get that. If we get that, or Braun going to Bronson, hey, this is because it makes our life better.
Yeah.
But the second he steps out of line, you know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be some amount of and it's only going to get worse with Brock, by the way.
Yeah, it is 1,000%. 1,000%.
They're going to be the third and fourth options here.
Yeah. They really got to start exploring those dynamics in terms of the power structure of what's going on heading into War Games. Otherwise, you run the risk of Braun and Bronson really fading to the background. And Logan and Brock being, the focal point of that team, as opposed to the two talents you're trying to utilize best to build your future around.
And establishing that these guys are going to be around and the other two aren't.
Yep.
So they need to be established as the guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
1,000%. Next one from Max for Bill.
Okay.
Max for Bill. Hot take says Triple H books like it's the 80s. simple storylines, only a few shows that matter, and the rest is mostly filler.
I mean, I saw a quote from those other guys, Dave Meltzer, the other day, where he said, kind of like, in nicer terms, he says, it's just old school booking. There's nothing too flashy. I really enjoyed Raw. It was a special episode, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed SmackDown. If they can bring that amount of energy to every weekly show, the only thing at that point they need is an A story. Yeah. I think right now, obviously, in the last stretch for Cena, they're treating that and War Games as the A stories because War Games is 3 weeks away. But beyond that, heading into the end of the year and then, of course, WrestleMania season, we need a good A story. And you and I have talked about the idea of a saga, a story that permeates the entirety of the weekly shows. You're anchored by one really good solid segment or a match or both, ideally. And it sort of like filters out and everybody feels the A story. Everybody feels the saga. Mm-hmm. And that was obviously what the Bloodline was. Yeah. We're absent that now. We don't have that now. And I feel like that's when, see, we did that video, the boom period, is dead and this is what killed it. The boom period's not actually dead. It can be resuscitated.
It can. It can be. Is it on life support? Maybe. On the wane? Definitely.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But it's not to say, and I still think this is probably a good idea for a count-out to do before, we got to film some stuff in advance to take a little bit of time off for the holiday coming up, Thanksgiving, to do an episode on what WWE could do to get that boom period going again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look back to what Triple H was doing at NXT. It was all basic, straightforward stuff. Nothing revolutionary. It wasn't reinventing the wheel in terms of wrestling booking.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, how are we going to motivate two people to get them in the ring and fight?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, at its core, that's what pro wrestling booking is regardless, but there's dimension and complexity you can add to it. Like we saw with the Bloodline. The Bloodline was more about the interactions of the characters than even the matches.
Yeah, well, 1,000%.
And a lot of time, the most interesting stuff about the match is what happened after the match.
Or the character interactions, but like during the match amongst the Bloodline. Yeah, absolutely.
It was yet another stage for these characters to interact as opposed to the matches necessarily being the most important thing.
Yeah.
But we in NXT, we saw Triple H was capable of penning a saga with the Gargano Ciampa stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Up until that point, that was in contention to be one of the best pro wrestling stories told.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah.
And it added a level of dimension and depth that you don't normally get in a lot of pro wrestling stories.
Yeah.
And granted, he had two characters there who had a wealth of history. The NXT audience saw their development from day one, being there, signed on a per appearance deal, becoming regulars, getting signed to their contracts. Their journey together is DIY. Mm-hmm, the moments they had even wrestling against each other in the Cruiserweight Classic. Like, we all saw that happen. And it paid off when they broke up wonderfully.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And, you got to think there's opportunities to do that, something comparable, not carbon copy, somewhere on main roster. You should be able to find that.
They have such wonderful. The one strength that they have are the characters.
The strength of the characters. That's what gets Triple H's booking over more than anything else. Is that the characters are so well defined and the performers are so comfortable playing those characters, and they know their characters.
It's crazy to me that you got somebody so cold like Damian Priest when you've seen him thrive in a faction, but he's just in a vacuum right now. Yeah. He's just floating from I got a bad eye. And it's like, that's all he has to work with. Mm-hmm. And they need, it's surprising to me, dude, because they have found success with factions.
Yeah.
And it's surprising to me. They have, especially with the women now in the tag division, they have found, we put characters together and let them, like Charlotte and Alexa, let them interact. People really like that kind of, you see the turnaround with Charlotte. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And now you have the call-up Lash Legend, and she's paired with Nia Jax. That's going to be a good team right there. And the interactions between the two of them, we've already seen in the promo on SmackDown and then on Raw also, how it works. They got good chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's organic because even Nia Jax says, I faced her in NXT and she was a powerhouse and now we've become friends. Okay, there's a little, shout out to
Some
actual
backstory.
history. Yeah. We've seen this with Chelsea Green and Ethan Page and what they're doing. So, yeah, I do like they need to faction up more. And I wonder if, and I mentioned this before, I think this booking thing isn't as easy as I think a lot of people think it is. But factions might be a function where it's like, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on with factions. Maybe they're tough to do. I don't know because I don't do it. But maybe that's one reason preventing them from doing it. But dude, back in Triple H's heyday in the late 90s, everybody was in a faction back then.
Yeah. I mean, putting people in a faction seemed to be the easiest way, assuming you could give them TV time, to explore those interpersonal dynamics. And that's what makes things really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is when you really explore the relationships between people and the tensions that arises from those relationships.
Yeah.
But, as we saw with the Vision, pretty much since, they were birthed into being, there has not been a sufficient focus on exploring those dynamics, and it's kind of hurt the faction, overall. And still, like, we don't know what the power dynamics are like at this point.
Yeah, it is really suffering. That's the thing. It's like it could be so much more interesting than it is. All right, before we continue on with our hot takes, I want to point this out. We're in November. Of course, the November Predictions Challenge is already upon us. We've got Full Gear coming up on the 22nd and Survivor Series on the 29th of the month. So if you want in on the Predictions Challenge, then be sure to click on join right here to become a channel member. Go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson and click on the Friendo Club setup there. We do have a variety of reward tiers there, though. So be sure to do that. You get access to bonus episodes and question threads as well. All right, next hot take is from Femtrapta, who says War Games wouldn't feel so overdone if it wasn't the same group of wrestlers in the match every single year. So last year, of course, we had Old Bloodline and CM Punk. And this year, we're going to have CM Punk and at least 2 members of Old Bloodline, maybe 3. I guess it's possible if Jimmy and Roman show up. And then Cody instead of Sammy.
Yeah. And we're going to have Bronson on the other side, like he was last year.
What was the bad guy team last year?
It was Bad Bloodline. Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. Was the heel team last year.
Oh, but so yeah, Bronson Reed blew out his ankles then, huh?
Yeah, we broke his ankle, yeah. Jumping off the top.
Eesh.
But last year in the women's War Game match, Rhea was in it. Io was in it. Nia was in it. But there's no... Bianca's out injured. Naomi's pregnant. Bailey's... out of the picture that's going right now as it revolves around War Games. Liv is still out injured. Raquel's not in the match. Tiffany just lost the title. Candice is doing the DIY thing.
I will say this. The dynamics between, as we just talked about, the dynamics between the participants in the men's match especially are much different this year than they were last year. Maybe not between... like Punk and Roman, but Punk is champion now. And he's the one that's going to be, I assume, maybe calling in a favor to get Roman in. I mean, Roman's not going to need that as a favor, but he's got a personal thing, so it's easy for him to say yes. But before they brought Punk in, now they're going to be bringing in Roman. So I understand it, but there is a little bit of symmetry there in the storytelling that you can tell year after year with, a different configuration, different dynamics.
I went back to 2013. In the women's match, it was Bianca, Charlotte, Shotzi.
2023?
Yeah, I said 2013, didn't I? Yeah, 2023.
I was like, was that a thing back then?
Bianca, Charlotte, Shotzi, and Becky versus Damage Control. So Asuka, Io, Kyrie, and Charlotte will be in it again.
Okay.
And the men's match was Cody, Seth, Jay, Sammy, and Randy Orton against Judgment Day. So we'll have Cody and Jay again.
Is this, let me ask, I mean, this is not even a War Game specific thing, dude. But doesn't this speak to the staying? Well, there's one of two ways to look at this. You can either consider it the staying power of these characters / performers, or WWE's problems creating new stars and characters.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a little bit of both, but
Yeah.
what are they supposed to do? Not bring Rhea, not feature Rhea in the way they feature Rhea, not feature these people the way they feature them?
Yeah, I mean, they put themselves in a bit of a bind in that regard, especially having this a stadium show where they want to sell a bunch of tickets.
Well, they have sold a bunch of tickets, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like
part of the staying power is they've got reliable, big name draws.
Yeah.
you know.
And my point is, they want to use those draws in the marquee matches.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I thought. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like Rhea could easily just have a 1-on-1 match against somebody, or Roman could have a singles match against somebody lower on the card. But no, they want them in the marquee matches.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so they'll find a way to put the top names in the marquee matches because that's what sells tickets.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when you got 40,000 seat baseball stadium they want to try to fill up.
It would be interesting though to just look at. Has any, I don't even know how you'd frame this, but like, has any era, like, okay, Hogan's peak was what, 84 to 90,
80,
I guess you can call.
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, because when did he win the title? Like February of 84, was it?
Some point in 84, yeah.
I think it was like early. I think it was like right when 84 started. I think. And then, so it was like 6 years, right? Until they passed it off to the Warrior. Hogan got it back pretty soon after, lingered around for another couple of years, but it was really on the wane. So like 6 years. Austin's run was, what, 98 to 2001, I guess 2003, but he was gone a bunch.
Yeah, from 2001 to 2003, he was gone a lot.
He was gone a lot, yeah. So it was very, very short.
Mm-hmm.
These eras generally do not last nearly as long as like the lifespan of a top guy or top gal now.
Yeah.
Like it's obscenely long. Seth Rollins cashed in 10 years plus ago, dude.
Yeah, 11 years ago.
And I know Punk was gone for a long time, so that's kind of a different thing. But Roman Reigns got cashed in on 10 years plus
he's main
ago.
Event at 10 WrestleManias or something like that?
The staying power for a lot of these guys is unheard of. I mean, it's really kind of new. I mean, we were talking about this a couple of years ago when Becky Lynch had kind of done everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, it's Charlotte had done everything. Are they going to get the same creative treatment that like a Randy Orton gets, who's done everything?
Mm-hmm.
And they have done a pretty good job, like with Becky Lynch for sure.
Yeah.
With Charlotte now, she's over.
Super
she's
over,
doing So they have managed to elongate their relevance in stories, and kept these names relevant as draws as well. But it is funny to see, like, because of the way these athletes keep their bodies up, an easier schedule, wellness policies, and they're not relying on being these overly jacked monsters. So they're doing roids and, they're on painkillers all the time and just completely screwing themselves up. You have longevity now.
Yep.
And so, you're going to get WrestleManias, where the top matches are going to be very much the same people. It's going to be harder for people that are coming up to break through those main event scenes.
Yeah, it could be.
You
Hot take here from It's Kenny Johnson. Kenny says, War Games can be an annual thing, but make it Raw versus SmackDown. This keeps the brand warfare concept alive like Survivor Series used to have. Plus, if you add a future title opportunity for the winners, that adds even more intrigue.
Brother, whenever we bring these up, we always get crapped on in the comments. People, for some reason, in general, are not in brand versus. They all want the most boring fucking thing possible, traditional Survivor Series. Nobody wants a cool thing, brand versus brand.
That's interesting.
That's what I've noticed anyways. People, like, in general, whenever I bring up brand versus brand, they're not into it. They all love the traditional, though.
There was never anything on the line for the traditional Survivor Series matches, though.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Or rarely.
I get it. There's been plenty of really good traditional elimination matches.
Some, yeah.
I've liked some of them.
Yeah, some of them are good.
The Dolph Ziggler year, the Triple H 2017
You just love
year.
the one where Triple H was
I do.
pretty much making fun of the whole concept.
He was making fun of it all. Yeah. There have been good ones for sure, but I don't know what people have against brand versus brand.
Yeah, I think brand. Well, it all depends on the construction and the stories leading up to it, because there was that spell where they were having the draft like right before Survivor Series.
Yeah,
So
what the
someone
hell
who
was that?
just drafted to a new brand was like, super into being a SmackDown roster member. I'm like, you've been there a month.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
If it's a situation where, like this year, the draft hasn't happened, they've made a couple moves, switching people from one brand to the other, and there is actually the sense that there's distinct loyalty to one brand as opposed to another, and there's actual, bragging rights on the line, or maybe a title shot. Yeah, that's awesome when you can do that, because at that point, you see matchups that normally wouldn't happen. But the other thing about that, you kind of have to be pretty firm about the brand split, though.
You do. And that's why I really wish that they would. You and I talk about this whenever there is a draft. Treat the brands like they matter. Go about it more of a sports team philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
They should do that. Yeah, I always like the brand versus brand stuff. But yeah, obviously it would need to happen, when the brands are more solidified, like you just said. But or do the whenever they do the crown jewel championship thing, have all the other matches be for the other titles as well.
Yeah,
U.S. versus
Something.
Intercontinental, et cetera, et cetera.
Give us that brand versus brand thing, because if it's done right, it could be a lot of fun.
Or bring back bragging rights.
There you go. Mark here says gimmick matches are very boring. We see 2 War Games matches a year, 2 Hell in a Cell matches a year, and Money in the Bank has its own PLE. They don't feel special anymore. Maybe next year Money in the Bank will feel special, because it's going to be in September instead during the summer.
Yeah, I'll get a nice little boost there in the early fall.
Post SummerSlam.
That'd be nice. Gimmick matches are boring, huh? I don't know. I feel like I went back and I mentioned this before. I went back and I looked at our War Games star ratings. War Games are usually pretty fun. You know why they're fun? Because they got that little cage everybody has to be fitted in. Then you're forced into character
It's
interactions.
actually a pretty good sized cage. It's 2 rings.
It's a little tiny cage. Oh no, I'm talking about the pre-cage, like the cage before the cage.
Oh yeah.
That would be crazy if the match happened in a little tiny cage.
You got to jam 10 people in there.
Yeah, you get like the cage that they wait in, but you put 2 of those together, and that's your battle right there.
Kind of like car MMA.
Yeah, no. The waiting room cage is what I'm talking about, where they're like, oh, who's going to go? You're going to go. Who's the leader?
Yeah.
I don't know. And they have cage cams on those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with War Games. I think it's fun. Hell in a Cell is boring as fuck, because it's like, what more are you going to do?
I know.
They everything you ever wanted to see in Hell in a Cell, guess what? They did it in 98.
Pretty
They
much.
already did
virtually.
it.
I know. The one relatively recent Hell in a Cell match that I thought was really good and actually fairly creative was New Day versus the Usos.
It was great. Yeah.
It was awesome. It was benefited by having a really good story between the 2 teams, and they had great chemistry. Mm-hmm. Character dynamics were great. There was actually some real creativity put into that match that made it, from that perspective, interesting to watch.
Yeah. I mean, there's been good ones. That was an excellent one.
Yeah.
There's been good ones. I always go back to like Rusev versus Roman Reigns. Do we really need that in Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, a lot of them, they don't need to be in Hell in a Cell.
They just don't need
that. Was the time when it was his own pay-per-view. They had to have at least 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches. So, all right, this one's in Hell in a Cell.
That is the one gimmick thing that I'm glad they got rid of. Don't need that one. Money in the Bank, I love as its own pay-per-view. Don't bring it to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is already a loaded, crowded show on 2 nights. I like Money in the Bank. Love the Royal Rumble. War Game. I'm cool with War Games. I do think I still maintain. I think Survivor Series should be every year a celebration of all Survivor Series, brand versus brand, traditional and War Games. Jam pack them from SmackDown to Raw.
All right.
But
so you're in the idea of Survivor Series War Games being brand versus brand then? How about this? This is what you do. You just
War
mash it all
Games
into one
brand
match.
versus brand elimination.
You have a War Games match that's elimination style.
Yeah.
And each team is all their respective champions.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, so what would that be this year? It'd be Cody. Who's the U.S. champion right now?
Ilya.
Ooh, Ilya. The Wyatts.
Yeah.
And is there another one?
Well, that'd be no. I
That's
mean,
four.
that's the
Four
that's
versus
four.
four.
And then you can throw
okay,
it
so
out
on
to
the other
somebody else.
side, you have
Punk.
AJ Lee.
Yeah. Punk. And then the Intercontinental champ, John Cena. That's a pretty good team.
That's a good team right there. Oh my God, that's a good team.
Yeah.
AJ, Cena, and Punk on the same team, and then you got Dragon Lee there too.
Yeah.
That's a killer team.
And on the women's side, you'd have Asuka, Kyrie.
Well, those are brands. Those are.
The women's tag titles are cross brand. That's right.
So yeah, you just have more women's tag titles.
Yeah, you'd have to find a workaround there.
Mm-hmm. But you have Jade on one side, Stephanie on the other side.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green on Jade's team.
Asuka and Kyrie would be on Jade's team. That'd be the heel team.
Yeah, that'd be the bad guy team. And then you'd have Stephanie, Becky.
Well, Becky would be on the heel team too.
Well, I'm saying you do champion versus champ, like
right.
the brand versus brand,
Gotcha.
champions and champions. Yeah. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. That'd be hella fun.
That'd be super
you would
fun.
just need one more set of women's tag titles.
Yeah.
Or
just have like the number
not?
one contenders to the tag titles be in
Yeah,
there.
it's already who just had them, Charlotte and Alexa.
Yeah. Hot take here from Parsath. It says body language and facial expressions are more important than dialogue of a segment. See Okada and Takeshita for proof of this.
Man, you are not kidding. I'll be honest, dude. I am so tired of dialogue. I'm tired of words. Stop talking. Jade had one sentence and it was fine.
You're coming around to my way of thinking. I've been saying that for years. Too much talking in pro wrestling. Too many 10-minute long promos in the middle of the ring. We don't need it. Something to be said about subtext, about acting.
Yeah.
What Parsath here is talking about is the real meat of acting. Anybody can read lines.
Yeah.
The performance is in the body language, the facial expressions, reactions. That's where the real performance is. Anybody can go out there and just read dialogue.
We need more.
Making that dialogue moving and affecting. That's the acting. That's where everything else comes in.
We need more. Like, I'm fine with like the Bloodline backstage segments, but film them like as a fly on a wall stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do that.
Yeah.
Promo should have time limits, like 3
Absolutely.
minutes tops.
Basically, except for a handful of situations, you should not have someone come to the ring and talk for 10 minutes. It just shouldn't happen.
No,
if there's like some ceremonial thing, celebration for a title. I'm even tired of the contract signing trope. That's boring.
So, like, the contract signing is funny because, like, the GM just wants the damn contract to be signed. Yet you're inviting them out there with microphones and, like, it's like, oh, you think something's not gonna happen here? Like, what's the? I don't even get what the point of that is.
No, it's something just to motivate violence. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, like in the story, like, what's the point? Like, why are you doing this if you don't even want them to interact all that much?
I know. If you don't want them to fight ahead of their match, then don't put them in the same area.
Yeah, these people. Yeah, they don't like each other.
Now, if you want to do it how they'd probably normally be done, you follow the contract as it goes to one wrestler's lawyer. They read through it, advise their client any changes to make, or give them the green light to sign it. They sign it.
DocuSign.
And I guess DocuSign is sent to the other lawyer. They read it, advise their client to sign it or not, or to make amendments and so on and so forth.
Then they DocuSign.
Is it dramatic? Absolutely not, but that's life.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you get the right filmmaker,
they can make it courtroom drama, essentially.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Shotgun Sean has a hot take. Says the Death Riders should turn on Mox after Blood and Guts. Time for a new direction and a babyface Mox. Nah. I like the Death Riders.
The Bloodline.
The Blood Riders. I like the Death Riders. I like them now a lot more than I did when Dude is champion. They got the cool theme song. Mox makes me laugh. Mox always makes me laugh these days.
So I agree with everything about this except babyface Mox. I don't want to see babyface Mox.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
pretty boring when he's babyface. He's not
Yeah,
that
but-
exciting as a heel.
You know, AEW, man, they're not going to do the Death Riders any good, like without Mox there.
Probably not.
None of them dudes know how to. Well, Pac's a good talker, but they don't really have him talk that much.
No, they don't. It just feels like the natural evolution of this story. Mox's been saying all this shit. Death Riders bought into it. Surprise, surprise. He's full of BS.
Who
All right,
takes over?
Pac.
Replacement leader. What? No, somebody from the outside. Somebody that comes in. And
Shane
replaces-
McMahon.
Oh,
Cinema,
best
isn't it?
in the world.
Cinema.
Cinema. That's what you're getting at there. Cinema.
Yeah.
That'd be
Danielson gets up from the announcer's table. He's the one that boots Mox.
awesome. But then he's still at commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
he's the Death Riders commentator. Yeah.
That's good.
He leads the Death Riders.
Yeah, I like that. I think it'd be
There
good.
you go.
It's great.
Hot take here from Ronan the Analyst says Jordan Grace has quickly become the Drew McIntyre of NXT. Oof. A gatekeeper to make up incomers look good and big enough name for champions to defend their titles against.
What if Jordan Grace is in the Time Is Now tournament
And wins it.
and wins it and beats John Cena for the Intercontinental Champion?
That's a great pitch. I love that idea.
Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
I kind of like having kind of kept tabs on NXT. I kind of feel like this is kind of true. Like she should be champion by now.
She totally should be.
Why was JC Jane champion?
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense. You have Jordan Grace there.
Once they had Blake Monroe have her first like real feud with Jordan Grace, I was kind of like, oh, is this what Jordan Grace's role in NXT is going to be for a while?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know Blake Monroe is not losing her first feud.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she'll get to main roster.
Yeah, and maybe that's the thing is I mean, shit, when they signed her, it was like, oh, she's only going to be in NXT for a little bit. I know that was, a year ago or something like that. But, you know, I don't know if there's people they sign with the expectation that they'll be up to main roster within a relative short amount of time as opposed to 2, 3, 4, 5 years like some talents in NXT.
Yeah.
And so it's more of a situation like, all right, we can't, you know, really invest a lot of time in terms of like championships and stuff in them because we get the call from Hunter at any second. All right, Jordan's coming up to Maine. So it kind of feels like spinning of wheels.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't know. It does feel like
either.
spinning of wheels, though. It really does. Yeah. Like she's like the moment she got there, it was spinning wheels. That's crazy.
Yeah. She was arguably involved in more weighty stuff when she was a member of the TNA roster.
I don't think there's an arguably about it, dude. I think you're right.
Kind of Grump says Deadlock Pro Wrestling going on indefinite hiatus is going to be a devastating blow to the independent wrestling community. This was a bummer bit of news to hear today.
It was, yeah.
To hear about Deadlock going on hiatus. You know, every interaction we've been fortunate enough to have with those guys has been awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
They're great. And I really appreciated how Deadlock really was a shot in the arm to the wrestling business when it kind of really needed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and to hear that they're kind of having to put it on hiatus for who knows how long is a real bummer to hear.
The platform that they were able to bring to, you know, independent wrestling through their promotion is something that not a lot of indie promotions have the resources to do. They obviously had a big audience out the gate who were all believed in what they wanted to do, you know, through their actual podcast. Mm-hmm. And it was awesome to see that because it was kind of a unique situation. You know, it's not often that you have, you know, a big act like that, you know, get really serious about, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to build a promotion and it's going to be a real thing. And obviously gave it their all. And so that situation is so unique that it's a real bummer to see them, you know, have to go on hiatus for whatever reason. So yeah, you know, it's every time an indie promotion, a good indie promotion like that, goes away or goes on hiatus or whatever, the indie community is worse off for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's another reminder that trying to be any sort of independent wrestling promotion beyond just kind of like a real local thing is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
It's so tough.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
it is
so
absolutely.
tough.
Yeah.
Luis here says Little Caesars clears Costco pizza no problem in all aspects. Lists here price, reheatability, taste, availability, etc.
I don't know what the price of a Costco pizza is.
The full pizza is like $10.
Okay, yeah, that's on par with Costco with Little Caesars. Yeah.
Or it used to be. It's been a while since I bought a Costco pizza.
Little
It used to
Caesars,
be
I will
like
say
10
this, Little
10,
Caesars
$12.
has completely altered the game when it comes to you order it on your phone and they keep it in this little portable oven thing so that when you get there, they tell you, hey, it's ready. You go pick it up. You don't have to deal with anybody because you pay for it on your phone. You pick it up. It's fresh. It's good. It ain't like, hey, here's $5 for some cardboard pizza from, 5 hours ago.
Because that used to be kind of the reputation of Little Caesars years ago.
You get what you pay for, and you pay $5 for a pizza, you're going to get a $5 pizza.
Yeah.
But now you pay like 12 and they got stuffed crust. They got, they got all sorts of crazy little sides that you can get for it. Their crazy bread's still really good. And it's the perfect price because, man, you go to fucking Round Table or Mountain Mike's out here, the local place.
A pizza shouldn't cost more than $15.
Why would I ever pay $35 for what they call a large? This shit is not large.
Nah, it's shrunk through the years.
Little Caesars has one size. That's it. It's normal size. And you pay like $12, $13 for it or whatever. And especially these days, man, when these families, they just want some fucking pizza. You can do that. You can feed your whole damn family on a Friday night. And for a reasonable amount.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to throw shade at Costco because Costco still, in terms of affordability of a lot of things, the hot dog meal, the CEO, I don't care if it costs us money. Hey, that guy, But the pizza, I like the pizza. I think it's good.
Costco pizza's solid.
But I don't even know where the closest Costco is to me personally. I got a Little Caesars literally a mile down the street here at the major crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, Little Caesars does clear Costco. Costco's, the pizzas are big though.
Yeah, they are good size.
They're a good size.
They're like traditional large pizzas.
Right, like what it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big ass pizza.
Yeah, yay large. Probably like 18 inches across or so.
Yeah.
Now you go to a lot of pizza places and like the large is maybe 14 inches across. That's just be a medium.
A joke.
They want to charge nearly $40 for that? Pass.
Yeah.
I'll make my own pizza.
Shrinkflation.
I make my own pizza. I like my pizza.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's good.
Do you put cheese on it?
No, I can't. But that's my tummy. I put tons of other toppings on there.
Well, that's good.
It's plenty of flavor. It's not lacking in flavor or moisture for that matter.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I do like it. It's delicious. Yeah. I used to make it with cheese, and it was good then too.
Yeah.
Well,
cheese is kind of like, it's kind of a pizza necessity.
No, not necessarily. There's pizza, all sorts of pizza with no cheese on it. Yeah.
Kind of need the cheese.
Well, you need the cheese. I can't have the cheese, Steve.
Well, it's a pizza.
I wish there was a little more understanding that my body will reject it outright.
Just take a pill.
Yeah, sometimes that's not enough.
Really?
Yeah. I have this whole thing, whole like ritual I got to do just to hope that I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. with a bunch of gas inside me.
You're just beefing.
No, the problem is I can't. It's stuck. It won't come out.
Oh my God.
And it's painful.
You gotta take some Pepto.
That does nothing. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Pepto doesn't do anything for that.
I like the taste though.
All right, you can take shots.
I would just drink Pepto
leisure.
straight up, like no problems whatsoever.
It would do nothing for lactose gas. Nothing.
Damn. All right. Well, I'm sorry, Paula. Didn't mean to rankle you there. Apologies.
We'll end on this one. Hot take from Yo Science Bitch.
Yo Science Bitch
says Bush were unfairly hated in the grunge scene are definitely top 10. 16 Stone is one of the best grunge albums of the 90s.
Larson, do you know where Bush originated?
They're from England.
London. That is correct.
Yeah.
Now, how far away is London from Seattle?
I don't know the exact number of miles, but probably thousands.
Thousands. Thousands is correct.
Yeah.
Thousands is correct. Bush is not a grunge band. It's a rock and roll band. It's a rock band. It's not a grunge band.
So you're adhering to the definition that a grunge band has to be from Seattle.
I am adhering to your definition of a grunge band because you said that before. Somebody asked, "What is a grunge band?" Oh, from Seattle.
Well, that was me being tongue in cheek, man. I guess it's a band from Seattle.
No, I think you're right. No, I don't think I don't think they have to be from Seattle. I still don't think that Bush is a grunge band.
Let me ask you something.
What?
Is early Smashing Pumpkins a grunge band?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Like Gish or Siamese Dream?
I don't know. I'll be honest, probably not. I don't know.
Because if you come up with a definition of grunge that you find satisfying in terms of what the musical genre it is, in terms of the sound of it, at least one of the major four grunge bands won't necessarily fit to that definition.
Yeah, I know. That's why I like the other hot take somebody had. Grunge was a scene, not a sound.
Yeah.
But I don't think Bush is part of that scene, man. They're from London.
No, it was 1,000 miles away.
They're thousands of miles away.
Yeah, that's why I said thousands of miles away.
So, no, I don't think they're a grunge band. Get out of here with that. I never saw Gavin Rosdale wear flannel. He probably did. Everybody wore flannel.
Probably did at some point in the early 90s. Everybody wore flannel.
When did 16 still? And here's the thing. I don't even mind Bush.
Yeah,
I like some of their stuff. Their re-listenability. Like, I'll listen to like a Bush song once every like 3 years.
Yeah. It's Machine Head. Machine Head's the best song.
It's a good song. Yeah, that's a good song.
I really like. All right, I can listen to this one.
I like it. You know, they're all just ripping off Eddie. What did I say before, dude? These bands made millions ripping off Eddie Vedder's voice. He's one of them.
We did have I thought we did. Maybe it was somewhere else. I thought there was a Pearl Jam hot take. Maybe it's in the ones that didn't make it. Give me a moment.
Live in a field. Well,
Get your take on this one.
Glycerin. What does that even mean?
Well, glycerine's a preservative.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, he's talking about a relationship that he couldn't keep together, Steve.
Oh, is that with the Gwen Stefani?
No, I think that song predates their marriage.
But then they did break up. I'll tell you this: like, who would you rather Gwen Stefani be with, Gavin Rosdale or the Blake Shelton guy?
I honestly don't care.
You don't have an opinion on that?
No, why would I?
I don't know.
Why would I have an opinion?
I think they're probably both crap. I think she should be with somebody cooler.
I don't know.
Doesn't
matter.
Like
to
Jelly
me.
Roll. She needs to get with Jelly Roll.
Sure, why not? Sure.
See, there you go. I'm glad you're with me on that.
I swore we had there was a take here about Eddie Vedder. Maybe it was a different question. Maybe it was one of the other question threads. I went through the ones that were held for some reason.
You live in a field, everyone
maybe this is what it is.
Farming right is like strawberry fields.
It was essentially, I'll paraphrase. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
From
Does it
Carlos.
have to do with Dirty Frank eating people? Is that what you're thinking of?
No, but I guess you can extrapolate it maybe. Carlos Diaz here says Eddie Vedder's vocals on Pearl Jam should count as grindcore or death metal. Unintelligible.
I will say this. The studio version of Yellow Ledbetter, I'm like, is this fucking English that he's speaking?
Because he was just making them up on the spot. He was like riffing on lyrics for that. That was like a scratch track.
The final studio version, or is this improvised lyrics?
I believe so.
He didn't do like several takes?
No, I don't think so.
That's wild. I mean, it has lyrics. They're words.
Yeah, there are words to it.
I mean, the thing, my point is, they are English words, but you can't really understand what the fuck he's saying. And then you get the lyrics in front of you, and it's like, oh shit, he's actually saying stuff.
So that's what Mike McCready had to say about it before Dirty Frank ate him.
Okay.
He says, Yellow Ledbetter, that was written around the time of the first record, 10. I think that was the second thing Ed and I wrote together. It came out of a jam in the studio, and Ed didn't really have any lyrics. He came up with some ideas right there on the spot, and that's what we recorded.
Okay, but hold on a second. He came up with lyrics on the spot. Isn't that kind of like when Kurt Cobain said, yeah, I wrote a bunch of lyrics on the drive over there? That's not improvising them on the spot. That's like, oh, let me write some stuff down. So he might have written them in advance, like moments before they rolled, but it's not like he just, oh man, I don't know, I'm just improvising. Beep bop a doop bop.
I thought I read elsewhere that he made him up in the booth.
As in the booth, as he's going, no writing it down. He just was like improvising the entire thing.
Yes.
That is wild if true. Wild if true.
Well, according to Google AI, the Yell Ledbetter has improvised lyrics because Eddie Vedder created them on the spot during a studio jam session.
Okay, maybe they got that right then. I want to know more about that, though.
All right, we'll research.
But okay, now when he sings them in concert, is he also just making up lyrics on the...
My understanding is that he'll change the lyrics show to show from time to time.
All right. Still, I mean, going back to my central thesis here, I feel like a lot of his lyrics are perfectly intelligible, perfectly listenable, whatever, coherent.
Yeah,
you can understand what the fuck they are. But there are some songs when it's like, what did he just say?
Yeah.
What, Lucan? What?
Well, you read about the story, what motivates it, it's like, oh, that makes sense.
Oh, I'm going to Lucan. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going to Lucan's.
So in the liner notes for Lost Dogs, McCready said a riff loosely based on something, because he ripped it off from Jimi Hendrix. He says, I thought it was pretty. Eddie started making up words on the spot, and we kept them.
That kind of sounds like he was just in the studio just saying shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
McCready says, I still don't know what it's about, and I don't want to. I love it. Fans like it too.
Yeah.
He also mentions here that Eddie will change the lyrics from time to time.
Okay. Well, there you go. From time to time. Okay. Not everything has to mean something. Sometimes he's just, I guess, saying things. That's cool.
Well, just because it's a stream of consciousness, you're improvising, doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything either, It could have some sort of emotional core or some sort of thematic element that was in his head, and he was trying to piece it together as he was making it up.
Could be complete gibberish.
Could be.
Ask Eddie, he could be like, fuck, I was just literally saying things. Just absolute garbage, nothing. You're like, come on, man, doesn't it mean something? It means jack shit is what it means. It means he's like, you know what it means? It means people made millions ripping my voice off, including Gavin Rossdale.
He was like pushing the limits of like the parody of what Eddie Vedder sounds like.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to show these guys how to do it.
You want to hear someone really rip off Eddie Vedder?
Back before anybody did it, because he recorded it during like their very first session,
Yeah, I know. Prescient, I guess, on his part.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, people are going to make millions off this voice.
Dirty Frank.
A Dirty Frank. Write a better song about a cannibal. How about that? Oh, man. Anyways, that's going to do it for this edition of Hot Takes. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.